Hello and thank you for joining us on the latest edition of Daily Politics on Trust TV. I am Hamza Idris. And on the program tonight, we give an in-depth analysis on the trending political events and critical government policies for national development. But specifically in today's package, we hope to examine Nigeria's Transparency Index and the anti-corruption drive. Amidst a rise in revenue accruals for the federal government, anti-corruption crusaders have raised concerns over failures of ministries, departments, and agencies to uphold accountability in governance. A latest transparency report suggests that over 500 MDAs and government parastatals have failed transparency tests in 2025. The report, released in Abuja by the Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity, painted a troubling picture of how critical agencies from finance to defense, agriculture to education continue to lag behind in accountability. On this platform tonight, we ask the big question: what is the implication of failures to pass transparency tests, and how does that affect the government's anti-corruption efforts? And to discuss this and many more issues, we welcome our guest, Dr. Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, the Director General of the Bureau for Public Service Reform. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be with you again.
And we are also expecting to have Dr. Umar Yakub. He is the Executive Director, Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity, which actually anchored the investigation and then released the report. But before we went into the conversation proper, here are some tidbits. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar, has stressed the need for Nigerians to understand the true meaning of jihad, noting that it is not about violence, but about striving for excellence in all spheres of life. The Sultan stated this on Friday in Abuja at the public presentation of Scars, Nigeria's Journey and the Boko Haram Conundrum, a book authored by the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Irabo. Also speaking at the event, former President Olusegun Obasanjo said the Boko Haram insurgency cannot be taken away from the banditry in the northwestern part of the country. Also at the event, former President Goodluck Jonathan disclosed that the scar of the Chibok girls' abduction will continue to haunt him till the end of his life. He said his government had explored multiple committees and approaches to end the insurgency, but the crisis proved more complex than often portrayed. And we take a short break. When we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back. Yes, Dr. Dasuki Arabi, once again, welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much.
And as I said in the course of the program, hopefully we will have Dr. Umar Yakub, who is the Executive Director, Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity. But you are, I don't know, part and parcel of this, or is by virtue of your position as Director General of the Bureau for Public Service Reforms? Because just the name indicates that you have a lot of role to play in accountability in government establishments.
Well, thank you very much. BPSR have worked with the Center for Transparency and Accountability for getting to 5 years now, and we've been part of this process of driving this integrity index among ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And it is a process that we came up with. The initial idea was for the organization, Fiscal Transparency and Integrity, which came onto us. And the Bureau...
They approached you?
Yes, they approached us.
How many years ago?
About 5 years.
5 years,
yes.
okay.
This is the 5th year.
The 5th year.
Yes, and in my opening remarks, I said the baby is now walking. From the crawling state. So we've done about 5 years, and based on our assessment, we're happy with this result. We're comfortable with it. As I said, 20 years ago, you dare not ask some of these questions in Nigeria. Today, you are not only asking, because of the fiscal reforms introduced by us and government, you are compelled as government organization to proactively provide information on your activities that most especially concern finances, which are the fiscal transparency aspect of it. How much has been budgeted? How much has been appropriated? How much has been utilized? Evidence of utilization. But most importantly,
and every releases,
yes,
right?
Yes, releases. But most importantly, the exercise is aimed at engaging the citizens, giving them the space to proactively have information and justify utilization of those resources allocated to them, to the ministries by government.
All right.
Now, if you look at our work in the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, the National Strategy on Public Service Reforms that we've discussed here before have 4 pillars. Pillar 3 is looking at fiscal transparency. And this is a document that we started working around in 2004, that came on board 2007 and 2008. And all what we have tried to do in that strategy is to encourage and institutionalize fiscal transparency, discipline, disclosure of information, engagement, value for money, reporting, etc., etc. And what did we do under that pillar? We said we have digitalized payroll through IPPIS. Now, that means the days of ghost workers are gone.
We don't have them anymore.
We don't have
them. We
have
a few.
No, we don't have them. We don't have them because I can't see the space where a ghost worker can sneak into IPPIS for now.
It's very unlikely.
It is very unlikely.
Okay, I will allow you to dwell on this, but you can see at the beginning of the program, yes. I read our tidbit,
yes.
and it was deliberate
yes.
that I didn't ask you to comment on that because
yes.
I want your first shot
yes.
on accountability and all that.
Yes.
Now, the former Chief of Defense Staff, Lucky Irabo, he worked in Maiduguri.
Yes.
He now authored a book, and he titled it Scars.
Yes.
Nigeria's journey and the Boko Haram conundrum.
Yes.
And then you've seen the array of people that attended.
Yes.
Obasanjo, because Boko Haram started at the twilight of his administration.
Yes.
And I think to some extent that he bequeathed to Adua. Right. But here he said, we cannot solve it. It is now over 15 years. We cannot solve it without creating a nexus between what is happening in the Northeast and the banditry ravaging the whole of the Northwest and parts of the North Central. What is your take on this?
Well, I'm not a security expert, but my take is government that have passed, including this current government, are doing quite a lot to address security issues, socio-economic issues that seem to be responsible for some of these problems that we're having. Nigeria is opportune to be large in size with a very long boundary, with a population that is very active, very vibrant, very strong, and with the Dutch generation, more than 60% are below 30 years that are active and want to be engaged. We have tried as much as we can as government, as a reform agency, to see how we can fine-tune the way we engage with citizens, the way government provides employment for them, the way we open the space for private sector to thrive, so that issues of unemployment would be addressed. And that is why we're always saying that government is not responsible for providing employment, but government is responsible for providing a thriving environment.
But we have it since 2014.
Yes.
I mean, 2009, going back, because of course, if we move to Jonathan's comments there,
yes.
Number one, he said he will live with this scar. I think he borrowed that word from the book, that he will live with that scar until the end of his life. But he said at certain time, even the Boko Haram, fighters, they had more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian military.
If you look at that, who is Boko?
And this is despite the money pumped to the military
if you look at who is Boko Haram, who is providing funding for Boko Haram, who is facilitating the movement of Boko Haram?
3 questions there.
3 questions that have not been answered by the best experts on security that we have engaged with as a country, as a region. But then you cannot isolate Boko Haram, Nigeria, and other parts of the world, especially Africa. Because if you look at the Sahel region, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Joint Staff was just saying, Musa, that it's still on and it's getting more dangerous for us. So what is responsible for that to us as reformers? One is climate change. We tend to underrate the impact and effect of climate change on socio-economic activities of people living in Nigeria and in Africa. More than 60 to 70% of the green zone from North Africa to West, that means from the Mediterranean at the top to Atlantic at this side, 70% have been lost because of climate change. Now, a Fulani man or a Shua Arab that used to be at the center, who within the space of 220 kilometers is able to get free green land, water to feed his animals, now needs to travel more than 1,000 kilometers.
And all the pathways have been taken over also.
Yes, all the pathways have been taken over deliberately or by...
And the grazing reserves left their palo.
Their palo.
As having, safe haven for criminals.
So
also.
Again, National Strategy on Public Service Reforms in 2004 said we must look at environmental degradation, climate change, to see how we can relate that to the economy of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. I think we can stop there, maybe in the course of the program, because it's getting interesting. Yes. And talking about transparency in governance, I wish Yakub were here, because I wanted to ask him the first question, that after all, what is a transparency test? But he's not there. And our viewers will actually like to know, what is transparency test before we now say 500 MDS have failed it? Now,
what we have done with that tool is to say, first we have identified what is transparency, which is openness in management of resources of government allocated or expended by MDS. Fiscal transparency, we're looking at finance, budget, procurement, proper utilization of resources. Then we took what we call variables. Those variables are looking at finance, human resource, anti-corruption, citizens' engagement. Now, when you look at finance, what does it entail? Budget. The Freedom of Information Act says you must proactively provide information. One of those information is provide information on your procurement activities on your website. One variable. The other one says you must provide your evidence of utilization of resources by providing your financial statements on your website. Number 2. Number 3, if you are a revenue generating agency, you must provide evidence how much you have generated, how much has been remitted to government, how much has been utilized in line with the extant laws establishing or creating your ministry, department, or agency. Number 2, if you look at human resource, how many people have you employed? Is it in line with the federal character principle? Including gender, how many male and how many female? Now, if you look at citizens' engagement, how far have you been able to engage with citizens, provide information to them on your finances and your activities generally? Now, these are the variables that compose or they make part of the index that we allocate numbers. At the end of the day, we aggregate all these numbers, and then we find who is
so
number
there are
one.
marks, for instance, in finance, maybe 10, 15, or
yes, there are marks.
So by the end of the day, when you aggregate it,
yes,
whooping 500 and something, failed that test, because I saw that in our report. It was said that just about 6 passed.
Well, the spirit behind that exercise is not to shame and disgrace.
So it's not a license for death?
No, it's not a license for death. And it's not aimed at saying this one has failed, this one has passed. But for us to see how we can collectively, as a government, be at point one together. And the laws that we have, ease of doing business order 001.
Okay.
Freedom of information. Nigeria's commitment to open government partnership. The Procurement Act. What do you call it? Yes, the Procurement Act. The Finance Act. These are all things that is not this exercise that is compelling ministries, departments, and agencies to do. We are supposed to do it. So what we have just tried to do is to see how many of them have really uploaded this information and how many have not. So failure of an agency to upload that information does not mean they
don't have the information.
They don't have the information.
But meaning they have something to hide.
No.
Okay.
They don't. There is no. With National Strategy on Public Service Reforms Pillar 3, I'm repeating it again, you don't have the space to hide anything in government. As monies are being released to you, you are seeing them, other supervising agencies are seeing them. As you are utilizing them, somebody is seeing it. We have developed an ecosystem around managing resources of government and tracking how they are spent. Now, let me give you an example. One of the variables we are using is upload of annual reports. If Minister of Defense, for example, have not uploaded their annual report.
And they have not?
Yes, they have not. That is not to say they have violated serious laws or they have challenges that will classify all of them have failed. All what we are trying to do is to remind them that the law says you should provide this information. Please provide that. Don't forget that we are transiting from an analog system to a digitalized system. So change of psyche and attitude of public servants to understand why they should do this is taking time.
Why is it taking time? I want to say that
it is
as we speak now.
It is taking time because we are transiting, just as I said, from manual to analog. And as I told you, 20 years ago, we don't have this. Today we have this. In relation to this, we have what we call scorecard for ranking of websites of FDAs. When we started that program about 7 years ago, more than 70% of our MDAs didn't have functional websites. Today, from the assessment we've done last year, we are currently on 2025. I don't want to discuss that result. We have seen improvement in more than 70% to 80% of MDAs.
You know, in media houses like ours,
yes,
we also try to hold those in position of authority to account. Number one, our first place of call when we want an information is to go to their website.
That is true.
On many occasions.
Yes.
In fact, we have had cause to land ourselves in trouble by relying on some of the data some of these revenue-generating agencies post on their website.
Yes.
Why are they reluctant to give the true picture of what they are doing, especially in terms of their finances, in terms of their procurement, and in terms of implementation of the projects they said they will do in their proposed budget that they present to the National Assembly?
Well, if you look at that, we have what we call open government portal for people to see what is happening around management of finances in MDAs. When you come to procurement, whether the ministry uploads that data or they fail to do that, the Bureau of Public Procurement, NOCOPO, portal says all procurement activities must be reported. If you are not reporting them, you are not a procuring entity. So it may not be on their website, but you cannot
hold them.
Yes.
Meaning there should be a law that will compel them.
Well, not law per se. We have laws already.
Enough.
Yes, enough. What we are just doing is to encourage them to do what they are supposed to do. But
why should we encourage someone to do what ordinarily should be his mandate? Because you can see, I wanted to say that if I Google State Department...
No, not that it's his mandate.
Okay.
What he's supposed, or what they are supposed to be doing.
Exactly. They always tell Nigerians that, okay, they have the National Assembly approved so amount for defense,
yes,
for agriculture,
yes,
for health and all that. We will go to specifics here.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we find it very difficult to track it because the information is not there. And I wanted to say, if I Google the Defense Department now,
yes,
which is the Ministry of Defense,
yes,
or Ministry of Foreign Affairs or whatever,
yes,
of the United States, I will get tons and tons of information.
Well, that is true. My hope,
yes,
under NSPSR is Nigerian public service. At the rate we are going, we should be hoping to be among the first 20 public services in the world.
In the world?
Yes. United States did not start this transition or this exercise last 10 years. They've started more than 70, 80 years before us. And I am confident that at the rate we are moving, we'll be there. If all goes well, our procurement will be 100% paperless by the year 2026.
I'm having a feeling that some people somewhere,
yes,
are working in cahort to actually conceal some of this information, because the difficulty the US or UK or Canada or Australia, the difficulty, or Germany or wherever they pass to have, the template they are using now, they have conquered that ground for us. Now here you can create a fantastic website for your agency, which at every point in time you will be uploading. But they are reluctant, and that is what most of our, because I've started receiving some text messages here, yeah, I pray there will be time for us to open line for our viewers to ask you one question or two. Are you not suspecting that this issue of accountability is still a serious issue because some people have a lot to hide?
No. I think MDAs are accountable and they are doing well. As I've said, I've not seen hiding place for anybody. If you want the appropriation of 2025,
yes,
that relates to a ministry, and you are not able to get that from the ministry, you go to the website of Budget Office, you see it. If you want to see...
Including the releases?
Of course. If you want to see releases, you go to Ministry of Finance. You'll be able to see releases. Now, if we're, as a ministry or as an agency, if you are not providing that, a supervising authority that is supervising your work is doing that. Don't forget that the process of developing national budget has now been open to civil society and citizens. So it is not only Budget Office or Minister of Finance Budget, Minister of Budget and National Planning, or Minister of Finance that is doing that close. Everything is open. Citizens in Nigeria are actively participating in governance, in taking decisions, in monitoring and tracking releases, appropriations, and utilization.
What is the level of compliance, for instance, because we have a lot to ask, level of compliance in terms of the releases of whether 2024 budget or 2021
Well,
budget?
Unfortunately, I'm not speaking for... Yes, and I'm not speaking for Minister of Finance, yes, or the Office of Accountant General, but I think it's fair, it's good.
But do you know that we've been trying to get this? We went to the Ministry of Finance, we went to the Budget Office, went to the Office of the Head of Service to get the level of compliance in respect to the releases for capital expenditure and even recurrent expenditure for MDS. Over 2 months now, no information on that. And we checked their website.
Did you go to their website?
We checked, Doctor.
What is it saying?
Nothing.
Did you see their annual reports?
I didn't see it, honestly, even though I didn't go there, you know, okay. I do a lot of things, but you know, we have people.
Did you go to the website of budget office?
We did. In fact, we even went to the budget office, and then we even called the, the DG budget office, right?
Yes.
Dr. Tinubu.
Yes.
We wanted him to come and explain. No response.
Okay.
We ask.
We will help you to make sure that those saddled with that responsibility are able to provide that.
Because I think it's the easiest, the simplest thing that a newspaper can ask to say, okay, you have 2024 budget.
Yes.
You have 2025 budget. Tell me how much you've released so far to the Ministry of Education for their capital expenditure.
Yes.
Now we are still in the cold room.
Did you make any efforts to see the Minister of Finance?
We did.
Okay.
We did. And we reach out to all of them. And this is with all sense of responsibility.
Okay.
So because now you lead a very strategic.
Despite all these challenges, I am confident and assuring you that releases that are made are properly utilized. Releases that are not made, when a budget is approved, it becomes appropriation. It doesn't mean that all those monies will be released overnight. Don't forget that budgets are funded with the revenues that government is able to generate. So based on what government is able to generate, releases are made. If releases are not made, we'll have shut down this government the way other governments are being shut down now.
They said the releases are being made especially for the current, in piecemeal. Maybe just to pay salaries sparingly. If they realize that the vehicle of the DG will not move, they now release something for him to buy.
Salaries are paid through IPPIS and they don't have anything to do.
Now, for instance,
I want to tell you again that if they are not coming, government will have shut down. I'm just coming from my office.
Have you received your capital releases for 2024 and 2025? Your agency, the Bureau for Public Service.
No, I will not discuss at this forum. Okay. But we are comfortable.
You are comfortable.
Yes, we are comfortable.
Okay, now still talking.
We understand that, just as I said, budgets are funded by revenues generated by government, and releases are made based on priorities of what government feels needs to be addressed immediately. So grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think we're on course. We're comfortable with what is happening. And things will be all right.
Our thinking is that with the removal of fuel subsidy, the floating of the naira, and if you hear the president, the Minister of Finance, they keep saying we are competent, we have money. But then questions here and there. Do you also check what they do? Like Ministry of Finance, like Ministry of Budget. Do you interface with them from time to time?
The laws are not for selected MDS.
Okay.
They are for federal public service. So they affect everybody.
But I think, Doctor, our perception about budget and proposal, budget proposal and then implementation is now no better than a ritual. Considering that we do what we like at ministry level, department level, or whatever. Why am I saying this? And I asked this question not once, not twice, unable to get the answer. I attended a session. It was a county in the US, meaning a local government. Let me say maybe a Jere local government or whatever. Or Abuja municipal. Now the
local government.
Exactly. Now the head
of the local government.
Yes, I was an intendant. Now the head of that local government, when he came to present the budget of 2014, because it was 2013. It was 100% implementation. Local government, because I can't remember the figures, but he mentioned what was appropriated to them and then what was released to them. And he now came with facts and figures, with his councillors there. And then they said, okay, fine, because they had done their diligence. And I said, okay, go ahead with the proposal for the 2024. But here, I think even 2024 budget, the level of performance, according to some sources, is no more than 26%.
No, I'm not aware of that. In BPSR, level of performance 2024 is fantastic, 100%. and we remain grateful to government for providing those resources for us to be able to implement and execute our 2024 capital project. And you know that of recent there are quite a number of problems and issues around the economy and generation of revenue, where government is not able to fund those budgets. There are assurances by His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. All those releases will be made. You recall the recent programs where the Minister of Finance and Accountant General had meetings with chief executives of agencies, the directors of finance, and assurances were given that payments will be made, releases will be made, and these releases are being made in piecemeal, and we're confident.
I wish we will have a look at them, because at one forum...
You recall there was the group of contractors that blocked the entrance of Minister of Finance.
I was heading there, yes.
Yes.
So have they been settled?
Well, if they are no longer a Minister of Finance gate, so that means they've been settled.
We hope we get...
Settled,
yes. And
if they have not been settled, they'll block...
But you see, this government is accused of actually using so many channels to silence, contrary voices.
Well, if government is... If they're accusing government of doing that, I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
I'm here to discuss government and the finances of government. So that means everybody is given the chance and the freedom to comment and to have his own opinion. But our opinion and what we think and know and what we are seeing is government is serious, is focused, despite all the challenges. Releases are being made and payments are being made in installments.
So are you saying the issues you uncovered around this 500 and something MDAs has nothing to do with whether they got their releases? Or
no.
It's just...
No. Now, if you take one of the variables,
yes,
which is human resource, what are you expected to do in that field? Between January to December 2024, we had 20 vacancies. And we have recruited 20 people. These people, we have 9 males, 11 females. These are their states of origin. And these are the departments or the sections they are there. Number 2, it says, did you consider federal character principle in these recruitments? Yes, we have done that. How many of your staff have gone for training this year? We have 100 staff, and all of them have gone for training. Now, failure to disclose this does not mean that there are problems or there are issues.
Well, then what is it if it is a problem?
Yes.
Probably there was a budget for that.
There's budget for it, and it has been done.
If the budget has been released, and they didn't take the staff.
As I told you, if you look at the agency that came, number 1, and the man said they were doing badly before, but when they came, they took one of the results, something like this, back to the office and said, this is what is expected of us, and everything that we are doing must reflect this. So what we are trying to do is to educate. That is why before the release of these results, we train. And the Center for Fiscal Transparency on their own are visiting MDAs. So any MDA that wants to be trained so that their performance will improve, they can write and will be in position to go and train their officers and further guide them and direct them on what they need to do. So as I said, from the beginning, we're happy with this. We have raised the conscience of government workers. Everybody now is worried, okay, it's not like this. But what do I need to do? Just upload your reports.
Okay, I want to ask some specific questions. In our report of Thursday, October 2, we said FIRS, NNPC, NPA, 508 others fail transparency test. And then we have an infographic here. If I take...
Now, before you go,
yes,
I don't agree with that report.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't say it's a failed transparency test.
Okay, which word did you use?
Or exercise.
Yes.
Proactive disclosure of information on activities of ministries, departments, and agencies.
Proactive
disclosure of information. And what that means is, whatever you do, you report.
But if you didn't report, how can I, as a journalist, how can I describe you?
You can ask me, and I'll provide that information to you.
Okay, assuming...
Yes, because the freedom of information says you can write to me and say, I want to know how many people did you recruit last year. And I'm compelled by that law to provide that information.
Okay, now assuming I
look at one other variable that is looking at executive order says Nigeria first. A lot of security agencies in Nigeria now are buying their kits from companies that are based in Nigeria. So they may not be reporting that on their website, possibly because they don't understand. And that's why I'm telling you that we run lots of capacity development programs. So I think the heading of that story
yes,
is wrong.
Not really wrong, Doctor, because I'm asking now. Assuming now we agreed that you will come for this program.
Yes.
And then suddenly you didn't come.
Yes.
I don't want to use the name of Yakub. I'm still hopeful that he will come.
Yeah, he will come.
Now, and you didn't come.
Yeah.
And you didn't call me to say you would not come.
Yes.
What will I say?
Well, you give me the benefits of doubt that, Mr. Arabi was not able to come. I don't know what his problems. Until you're able to prove somebody is guilty, you not say he's guilty.
Well, that is, civil service description, because as far as we are concerned, because we analyze, you can see, it's the only newspaper, I think, Daily Trust, that took a whole page.
This analysis is wrong. It's wrong to us.
Okay.
It didn't reflect what happened. It didn't reflect what we meant. It didn't reflect the objective of that work. If we'll be reported like this, we'll further discourage those that are doing well.
Maybe you are using, Vaseline to rub their backs, because here we believe in accountability.
Yes.
But now in the infographic, for instance, we mention anti-corruption, audit and oversight. Okay.
For us to discuss this, because we as a team driving this exercise have rejected this.
Then what did you...
Our thinking...
Yes, what is your alternative?
Our thinking reading this...
Yes.
...is somebody sat down and just wrote a subjective report on what has been done.
I don't think so, Doctor. And that is why I want to ask specific... I want to ask some specific questions.
Some of the paragraphs, if you go there, they said, Arabi said.
Okay.
Which Arabi did not say.
Okay, which paragraph?
Yes. And
because it's not really an argument, but I think we have to clear the ground.
Now, when you look at...
Good.
When you look at Arabi said, just beside the figures speak for themselves.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I'm there.
There was a wake-up call, if anti-corruption or no. This, I cannot even read this. Whoever wrote this was not at that event.
What exactly did you say? In respect to... I'm calling Doctor.
Yes.
What exactly did you say? Because in the report, right?
Yes.
Despite consuming, I'm going back small,
yes,
a huge chunk of the federal budget, the
yes,
Ministry of Defense, the Nigerian Police Force, the Nigerian Army, Navy, and Force all recorded dismal performance. The Department of State Service, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, NDLEA, also failed to meet transparency standards. Yakubu said, that was why I wanted him to be here,
yes,
said the results were particularly worrying given ongoing security challenges. Now, this is where I want to bring you in here.
Yes.
Now, commenting.
But you know I'm not a security expert.
Yes, I'm coming. Commenting, yes, Arabi said.
Yeah.
Is this your quotation? Defense and security institutions cannot continue to operate like black boxes.
This is not my words.
What was your word?
My words were, I was happy with this result, and I'm still happy with it. I'm happy with the efforts we have made. I'm happy that the government have given us and MDAs the space to work and do what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm happy that what we were not able to do 20 years ago, today we're able to do it in Nigeria. And I'm happy that we have started moving on the ladder of making progress towards transparency, accountability, and openness. And just as I said in my opening remarks, fiscal transparency under Pillar 3 of NSPSR has really unbundled and opened the system. So whether you report or you don't report, agencies of government, those saddled with the responsibility and the mandate to get information, can always get information. Now, let me give you an example. If you are using the BVN system.
Yeah, for instance.
Yes. Hamza is working in NTA, in Trust TV. His salary is 200 naira. And at the end of the day, there's a deposit of 500 million in Hamza's account. You report, you don't report, somebody reports. The agency saddled with that responsibility of checking this will see it, and they will call you. So there is really no hiding place and no reason for the reporter to paint our MDAs in this picture. I think is not.
Then how do you expect this story to come out? Because you said you did some rating.
Yes.
Okay, so let me have your take. Now this 508 or thereabout.
Yes.
What did you say about it?
They did not fail 100%. Now,
what did they score?
Example, you see a ministry. You cannot do...
Because I saw that there is green light, right? There is green, there is amber, that is yellow, right? And there is red. Almost 508 on red.
Not all of them.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the variables...
Yes.
If you look at procurement, you cannot hide your procurement.
But we didn't see it.
No, it's there. The procurement is there. Now, I may score 20 in procurement, but my inability to upload my annual report will take me to -20 because that takes about 10 or 20 points. So it is not that they have failed completely. No.
But have they passed?
Yeah. No ministry,
have they passed?
No ministry, department, or agency of government was found in the course of our work to have failed 100% to do anything. Those that are not able to do anything, by law, even under the Freedom of Information law, there are some sectors of the government that are not really supposed to publish some of their activities for security
reasons.
Yes, for security reasons. So I want to tell you again that we're very happy with this result, and we're hoping that the way we've seen incremental changes and improvement in the last 4 to 5 years, we'll be able to see more of
But do you think Nigerians will also be happy with this? I have taken, and our viewers are listening.
Yes.
What is the difference between this 508 and those 6 mentioned in the report?
Well, the differences honestly are not much. The differences are not accounted for infractions, but accounting for their inability to report what they should report.
And that was why they got green, right? Those 8,
yes.
While the rest, many of them amber or red.
Yes.
But do you think you are deploying the right parameters in doing this assessment? Because as the very layman example I gave earlier, if I know that I invited you for this program and you gave me a commitment that you will come, and you know that it's a live program, you will be here by 8 or by 7. Thank God you came here at 7 or 8. You waited. But you didn't come, for instance. And you didn't call me because to say that I'm unable to come. So how will I rate you? I will say you failed to come. Because I can't use any other word
comparing it to this.
Yes.
no ministry have failed.
Okay.
Yes. They have not reached the level where they should be green. all of them have made their own efforts.
Okay.
And that is why we have embarked on very aggressive capacity development training for web managers, webmasters in MDAs to understand that they need to upload these reports. Mr. Hamza, the most difficult thing you drive is change.
People
Change.
are reluctant to
yes,
accept.
change in an environment that is as wide as Nigeria. A public service as big as Nigeria's public service.
But we have public service in India, we have public service in China, we have all traveled to those countries. And when people say we should not compare ourselves with, for instance, China, I know the current system being implemented by China was from 1949.
Yes.
11-year difference
yes.
with Nigeria.
Yes.
But I don't know. Is it from here to China itself? I think how poles apart?
That may not be fair to us as public servants.
Why?
Now, if you look at my ability to craft IPPIS, and in less than 20 years, every federal public servant, except those that have been exempted, ASU, are now on IPPIS. And now, the president, with the touch of a button, is able to know how much do I need to pay workers' salary at the end of the month. And we are now able to say, with the touch of a button, we'll be able to pay salaries. We are now able to say that you cannot just come from outside and join IPPIS. We take your biometrics, we take your details, and we link that to your personal information and data that cannot be altered, that cannot be changed. I think we are making some progress. Now, if you look at that national data center that we have, if you look at NIMC and your name, you go to renew your passport now, nobody will give you a form to say this. Once you provide your name, everything is done. Now you go to your bank, they'll ask you for a BVN and your name, and they are able to synchronize and get the information that they want to get. Now we're able to pay our contractors and suppliers electronically, which is the same with what is obtained in India. So
it's actually a progress. We have just 2 minutes, and I am compelled to ask you another question.
Which is exactly what you find in US, in Canada, in United Kingdom, and others.
Okay, that is a big credit.
So I think
to you, yes.
I think we are making progress. What somebody like you and others will say is they want the speed to be faster.
All right, now finally, because we have like 1 minute, 2 minutes to close, and I received some text message. I wish I can, but another program is that what is happening to Orasanye report? The president at the beginning of his administration, he said they are going to actually implement it. There was even a certain committee, and we strongly believe that your agency should be monitoring that. Up till now, rather, what we have, more institutions, more agencies, more ministries, and all that.
Well,
and this should be in 1 minute, because I was thinking the time is just 30 minutes.
Governments and public service evolve over time. The public service has a DNA that changes over time. Now, to respond to some of these changes, sometimes it is necessary to create agencies or parastatals of government, and nothing stops us from closing or shutting down.
Okay, so the mere fact that Orosanye recommended that we should trim the number, that doesn't mean that with the exigencies of the moment, some should be.
Yes. Now, if you look at the regional agency development commissions,
do we really need it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I will not discuss that. But Orosanye's aim was to rejig the service, bring some changes, which we are doing. As I told you when I came the other time,
that was over 2 years.
Yes, look at the progress that Nigerian public service have made from Orosanye today, and look at the report itself.
Okay, so it's like Nigerians are fixated with the creation, not paying attention to some of the reforms he recommended, which have been implemented. That is the summary. So what is your final word? Just a word.
My final word is the transparency, accountability index of BPSR and fiscal transparency is aimed to improve transparency, accountability, and to get MDAs to conform with existing laws of the country.
And it's not an indictment.
And it's not an indictment.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Dasuki Ibrahim Arabi, the Director General of the Bureau for Public Service.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us. How I wish we can extend.
We will bring you again. Viewers, sadly, we have exhausted the whole time, and unfortunately, Dr. Umar Yakubu, who is the Executive Director, Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity, could not make it to our studio, but we hope to have him some other time. And that's a wrap on today's package. Join us on Sunday for another interesting edition of Sunday Politics. From here, I am Hamza Idris. Good night.